Hello, my crafting lovelies. I am so glad you're here and that you could join me today. I am making a card that has such a beautiful pop of color, and I'm using Catherine Pooler's stamp set and dies called Yours Truly. And I've pulled a selection of inks there that I'm going to use to color these colorful hearts in. And I am pulling out my We Are Memory Keepers Precision Press, and I'm putting some two-way tape onto the back of this whole stamp set. I have not taken the stamps off the sheet. They are still attached. And this way I can pick the whole thing up all at once right in my precision press. The precision press is similar to a MISTI in that you can stamp twice. So here I am just inking up in black, which is Memento, and putting it onto the guides for the precision press and pushing it down, checking the image. Now it was okay. It did have a couple of not dark spots. So I just do it again, same as what you could do in a MISTI. And after the second stamping, it was perfect. So now I am just pulling out a tombow marker. It's a dual brush blender pen, and picking some of the blue up. So I knew, the only thing I knew about this card was that I wanted these hearts to have a blue background. That's all I knew for sure. And I start by outlining the blue parts. So all of whatever is going to be blue, I just outline all of that. And then I start filling it in with the blue in solid blue. But then I come back with more blue on the brush pen, and I do from top to bottom, and that gives it a gradient look. And I do that for all three hearts. And then pulling out some green for the leaves. And you can see I've started doing some red and there. Now I did red and pink just in random order. I had no particular order in mind of how I was going to do red and pink. And my green is two-tone green. So I do some darker at the bottom of the leaves and some lighter green towards the top. And I kind of blend them together so that you don't get a harsh line of the two. And that's it. There was no strategy to that other than that. And here I am taking some of that Best Ever craft tape. That's that yellow tape. And I am just stamping some of those little hearts. I did the little heart there. You can see it in black, but I wanted them in color. So I wanted some red hearts. So I was stamping hearts, but they didn't turn out in the end either. I'll show you that in a minute. And then I die cut all of those pieces out. So here I'm just thinking about my sentiment. This set is called Forever Yours Sentiments, and it's a stamp set by Catherine Pooler. And I'm picking something big and bold for this card. The sentiments that come with the Yours Truly stamps are great, but I wanted something bigger. So that's where this stamp set was perfect. And I'm just using my embossing buddy powder tool there to put down some powder and prep my area before embossing. And I'm going to emboss it in bright white by Wow. And I'm using some Versamark ink. And yeah, then I just put that Wow embossing powder. That's bright white, so nice and bright, turns out beautiful. I missed a little spot there, so I just went back and did it again, taking a brush just to clean up the area. And then I use my magnets to put it down onto the magnetic platform while I'm heat embossing. And so here I'm just deciding on the layout of the card, the overall layout. Now I had all these little bits, these flowers, but in the end I didn't like them. Here I'm cutting a card panel front, which I will put onto a card base later. And this right now is a little bit big. I do cut it down smaller after. Here I have my Sizzix Sidekick, and you can see I just keep that Best Ever craft tape right on top. And I'm cutting out, die cutting some of those red hearts, but it doesn't turn out. It turns out that it's easier to just cut them out of basic white, plain white, and go back and stamp them individually after they're already cut out. That was the easiest for these little hearts. And so that's what I did. So I started with 3, but then one of them I wasn't happy with, so I went back and did a 4th one. And then I start the layout of this card, trying to figure out what layout I want. I mostly have it, but I haven't tried it with the hearts yet. So just taking a peek, seeing how that's going to look. And you know what? It looks fabulous. I love that black background. It just makes those colors pop. Speaking of popping, I am popping up those hearts with foam tape and just placing those little hearts with glue, liquid glue, so that I have room to move them around a little bit afterwards if I want to. And then I'm going to create my own card base. And I do that in my all-in-one tool. It's called the Works All-in-One tool by We Are Memory Keepers. And what I want to do is just make a score line here because this is a slimline card and I don't have any slimline card bases. And it's kind of a custom size. I just made it whatever size worked. So even if I had slimline card bases, I don't think they'd work for this. So I need a custom card base, and this is how I do it. I put it in this all-in-one The Works tool, and I put a score line wherever I want it, and then I use that as my card base. Now, this turns out right here, you can see it's a little bit big. I have some trimming to do, which I do off camera. I just go and put it in my bigger guillotine cutter, and then I have a nice card base, a perfect size card base, and there it is. And then I use just some tacky glue to put this base onto the card. And that's about it, you guys. That card came together so easily. It wasn't quick because I did fast forward quite a bit, but it was an easy card to make. It came together beautifully. And you know what? That jewel picker right there, I have a little spot on here of adhesive and I used the jewel picker to rub it off. It worked perfect. So there's another use for your jewel picker. You guys, I thank you so much for watching today. If you like this video, please do subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. I am the Rocky Mountain Crafter. You can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, and at therockymountainCrafter.com. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.